Ashoka, you think of a great warrior who fought the Kalinga War. You even tend to forget sometimes that his signs are on the national flag or his emblem is on the parliament buildings, but you remember the Kalinga War. Because perhaps it was one of the bloodiest wars ever fought in the history of our country.
After the war, he went around and saw all these dead bodies, and he realizes that he has conquered corpses and now it is time to conquer hearts, which I think is actually the sum of the film in the end, because it's the last transformation that happens to him, from wherein he of course went about spreading Buddhism and things like that, which is not really dealt with in the film.
"50 elephants, 600 horses, and 6,000 people." The war sequence in Ashoka is perhaps the biggest war sequence to be picturized in the history of Indian cinema.
Santosh had a vision of making it Kurosawa, very intense, very small, very surreal, very interesting. But when we finally got down to it, I don't know, while discussing it here, the whole brainstorming session, suddenly just came through that no, we should make the war look like a war. Like, let's go Mughal-e-Azam.
Before shooting, stunt director Shyam Kaushal spent hours trying to get everything correct on paper first.
इससे पहले बहुत प्रेपरेशन करनी, क्योंकि जब तक आपको मेंटली यू आर नॉट क्लियर के व्हाट यू वांट, देन हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू टेल टू द 6,000 पीपल व्हाट यू वांट.
The location chosen to shoot the most important part of Ashoka was Jaipur. The Pink City would be witness to yet another war.
Juhi and Aziz were very clear, please make sure that people do not get hurt. So there are just thick layers of sand there. And sand, of course, does take away a lot of impact of, fight sequences. And you get a little more free and easy doing fight sequences in sand, though it is difficult to walk on it.
Shooting the war was 6 cameras, all positioned at vantage points to capture all the angles. Retakes had to be avoided as far as possible.
Six or seven camera, 200 people, cars, trolleys, dollies, cranes, everything in the way. And it was like, if you saw it from, I've seen it from the top of a small hill the first day when I went, and it was the most scary thing that was happening. And only I can tell you this can be controlled by one man, Santosh Sevan. He has shot this single-handedly and come up with quite nice results, if I may say so, or add so.
So sometimes it's very important to execute it quickly and not really give a chance to just repeat again and again, because people will not be on their toes the second time they charge and third time they charge. So I guess we do a lot of planning like that before, and perhaps it's also because you are a little experienced before that you could also understand how much the light will change and how quickly and what we have got.
Most of the soldiers were taken from villages nearby. For most of them, it was the first time they were working in a Hindi film.
One thing was very scary. Scary means जिसके लिए सुबह से ही बहुत डर लगता था कि किसी को कुछ मार नहीं लगे, क्योंकि आज हाथी हैं, घोड़े हैं, सबको छोड़ दिया आपने 6,000 लोगों को, उसमें से 400 प्रोफेशनल जिनको मालूम है हाउ टू सेव देमसेल्फ, बाकी तो सिर्फ इम्पल्स पे ये लोग कर रहे हैं और कुछ नहीं दिख रहा है बीच में. एंड बाय गॉड्स ग्रेस पूरा वॉर का सीक्वेंस है, किसी को एक खरोंच तक नहीं. दैट इज द बिगेस्ट हैपनिंग आई थिंक. किसी को भी, नॉट इवन ए लोकल पर्सन गॉट हर्ट.
When you mix those kind of people with a lot of action people from somewhere like Bombay, you had more than 200 or 250 fighters. And then you have, on top of that, you have also martial art people who are from different parts of the country. So they also form a part of the villages. So it is not entirely, it is a very agile group of people, not villagers.
To create the killing fields of the war, art director Sabu Cyril had to recreate dead bodies, and he had to make them by the hundreds.
I took cast of people, real people, and made it in rubber. I think it was done well. Everyone appreciated it. When people, while shooting, appreciate it, you know things are working out.
Weaponry also had to be recreated. Swords, lances, armors, everything.
Everything has to be made in fiber, and because we can't really run around with a sword which is very strong and sharp, and even the spears, because they're going by horses, that you might fall, accidents can happen. So I had to take care of all these things using different type of materials which look real at the same time. And even Shanmaster was very happy. He was telling me, without you I don't think I'll be able to work, because the way immediately I used to give him alternatives and give him things while working. But the lances has to go inside, and the lance, it was a retractable lance which was made. So he was very happy seeing all of it. The sword which will hit, it goes inside where the neck portion is there, it goes inside like that.
And even for the actors, it was the first time they were shooting for a war scene. Used to working on modern films, all of them had their own set of problems.
I don't like riding horses. I find it two ways difficult. One, technically I'm not a rider. I've tried to learn, I could not learn it. Second, I'm scared of horses because I'm not a good rider. And more importantly, so I find it a little wrong to be riding on a living being. I find it very strange. Apart from that, the costume was very difficult to handle with this hair extension. Personally, I'm talking. It is very heavy to be doing this fight sequences, and it's made of metal. So every time I would raise my hand, it would tear. So you have to keep changing it after every one shot, two shots. And the swords break when you're doing the fight sequence. So you think you've got the shot right, and oh no, the sword broken, or the costume is torn from here. You redo it all the time.
Action.
Sand is a difficulty. It's very difficult to be wearing these Greek kind of tied up things and jump around in the sand, and to have all this weight and do a somersault or fall, which I've done in the fight sequences, or get off the horse and hit. It's very cumbersome.
One of the unique features of Ashoka's war sequence is the presence of a Kallari troupe, which is part of both the armies. An ancient martial art from Kerala. Specialists were specially flown in from Kerala for the shooting, and they all used actual swords in all the scenes. They also trained the actors in the use of this ancient art form.
It is believed, actually, Kallari is the origin of Kung Fu and all these things, and maybe somewhere it also was taken along with Zen, like it used to be Dhyan, and it changed to Zen, and maybe when these monks went, they also had to defend themselves, so they were imparted a certain training in martial arts, which is supposed to be the seed of Kung Fu. So Kallari that way has a interesting origin.
Even though the war scene in Ashoka has been shot on such a large magnitude, it was shot by director Santosh Sivan in just 4 days.
When I was supposed to shoot the war, I had all my earlier directors offering help, like Mani Ratnam said, okay, I'll come and do it. But I guess that I really wanted to finish it in 4 days, to be very frank with you, because then it would get a little more extended, you know, things like that. So I guess we just went about it. I don't know, sometimes I think there is a lot of element of luck also.
Whatever the final take of this film, we're just very happy that we were able to make a film on the greatest emperor, on the greatest spreader of goodness, peace, kindness, and a different film. And as an actor, I am honored to have worked with Santosh Sivan, who gave me a chance to do something which I have never done before and which I may never do again.